World News and Events COVID-19 on June 14. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All fanpage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on June 13 as follows. 1. American news. Dozens were arrested during protests in Atlanta. Police fired tear gas at protesters and blocked an intersection near Wendy's fast food restaurant, where Brooks was shot dead. This facility has previously been burned. Rayshard Brooks, 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks, was shot dead by two white police officers in a parking lot in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, June 12, 2020. Brooks overslept in a car while waiting in line for service at a nearby fast food restaurant. The Atlanta Police Department said the young man had resisted the officers after failing to pass the test of alertness, designed to determine whether the driver had used alcohol or drugs before. Less than 24 hours after his death, Atlanta Police Chief Erika Shields announced she was stepping down. Garrett Rolfe, officer, opened fire to shoot Brooks. June 13 was fired. Devin Bronsan, another officer involved in the incident, was transferred to administrative duties. All 50 states of the U.S. gradually opened up to Trump, although many health experts warned that the COVID-19 nightmare had not ended. Trump last week also asserted that the U.S. took a big step forward when it reopened and believed the economy would recover faster if states and localities stopped the blockade. However, the fact that in the past 2 days the U.S. has reported more than 20,000 new cases of COVID-19 and nearly 1,000 deaths a day. The U.S. remains the largest epidemic region in the world, with more than 2.1 million people infected and more than 117,000 people dying from COVID-19. Many argue that Trump wants to resume his campaign because recent polls show that Democratic candidate Joe Biden receives higher approval rates, even in important states like Wisconsin and Pennsylvania and Michigan. Last week, Trump's campaign had to hold a series of meetings to find a response. NBC News/Wall Street Journal poll results, released on June 7, showed Biden's support rate was 49%, while Trump was 42%. According to CNN survey results, on June 8, the percentage of support for Biden is 55%, 14 percentage points higher than Trump. Many think that COVID-19 and the ethnic equality protest movement will be two key issues that could affect the U.S. decision to vote in November. 2. Update to the world COVID-19. As of 05H47, June 14, 2020, source, Worldometers. North America has 2,459,525 people infected. Europe has 2,202,398 people infected. Asia has 1,602,012 people infected. South America has 1,393,063 people infected. Africa has 236,607 infected people. Typically, according to countries, the U.S. had 2,142,515 people infected and died of 117,533. Brazil has 850,796 people infected. The death is 42,791. Russia has 528,964 people infected. The death is 6,948. India had 322,777 people infected. The death was 9,206. Britain has 294,375 people infected. The death is 41,662. Spain has 290,685 people infected. The death is 27,136. Italy had 236,651 people infected. The death was 34,301. Peru has 225,132 people infected. The death is 6,498. Germany has 187,423 people infected. The death is 8,867. 3. UK news. The UK economy suffered a record 20.4% decline in April due to the COVID-19 pandemic, according to the UK National Statistics Office. The COVID-19 pandemic has crippled many business activities in the UK, causing the UK's April GDP to drop by 20.4% from the previous month, higher than the 18.4% decline predicted by experts. Reuters. If compared with the same period last year, the UK economy in April decreased by 24.5%. He has officially adopted a blockade against the COVID-19 epidemic since March 23, but the number of infections in the country remains high and is now 292,860 cases, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. A number of restrictions on the COVID-19 era hampered many economic activities in the UK in April, but the country gradually relaxed the restrictions in May. 4. Brazil news. According to updated statistics, Brazil is currently the second largest country in the world in terms of COVID-19 cases after the US, with a total of 850,796 cases of COVID-19, of which 42,791 were fatal. Leading WHO expert Mike Ryan said the current situation in Brazil, one of the hotspots on the current COVID-19 map, is becoming increasingly worrying in the city's area. According to Ryan, the Brazilian health system is still coping with the epidemic, although some intensive care units are under great pressure, with more than 90% of beds having patients. 5. Mexican news. On June 13, the Mexican Ministry of Health confirmed 3,494 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of COVID-19 infections to 142,690 people, including 16,872 deaths, an increase of 424 cases in the past 24 hours. Deputy Health Minister Hugo Lopez Gatell emphasized that Mexico is still in the peak of the epidemic and predicts the number of COVID-19 deaths in the country could reach 35,000. Mexico does not conduct testing on a large scale, but only on those with symptoms. Up to now, Mexico has conducted a total of 401,755 tests, of which up to 35.5% tested positive for COVID-19. Although the disease is still under control, the Mexican government has gradually reopened its economy from June 1. On the national COVID-19 warning scale, 16 of the 32 states in Mexico will transition from the red status to the orange status from June 15, thereby allowing for many non-essential economic sectors. Works again. 6. Egyptian news. Egypt on June 13 recorded an additional 1,677 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of SARS-CoV-2 infections in the North African country to 42,980 people. This is the highest increase in new cases in a day since Egypt discovered the first case of COVID-19 on February 14. The ministry has also confirmed 62 new deaths due to COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths from this dangerous disease to 1,484 people. This is also the highest number of deaths recorded within one day of the outbreak. Earlier, Egyptian cabinet spokesman Nader Saad said the country was considering closing shops and cafes for a certain period of time at night, even after the COVID-19 crisis ended. And the Egyptian government is determined to implement measures to close many stores, and the applicable time frame may be different for each locality. If implemented, this would be the first time in Egyptian history that this measure had been adopted. According to the regulations applied from June 14 to the end of this month, shops are allowed to open until 18h daily, while public transport vehicles operate until 20h7. Algeria news. Algeria currently records a total of 10,810 COVID-positive cases, 19 of which 760 died. The Algerian government on June 13 announced it would continue to relax the blockade imposed in early March 2029 to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Accordingly, the Algerian government will completely lift the curfew in 19 provinces and cities and shorten the curfew time in the remaining 29 provinces and cities, including the capital Algiers. In these 29 localities, the curfew order will be enforced from 20h of the previous day to 5h of the next day, instead of from 17h of the previous day to 7h the next day as the previous regulation. In addition, public transport and businesses are allowed to operate again in the cities. However, bus and taxi services in urban areas are only served for a limited number of passengers. The Algerian government also decided to end the COVID-19 epidemic free work-off regime for 50% of public officials in March. However, pregnant women and those with children will continue to enjoy this privilege. 8. News of Italy. According to data from the Italian Civil Protection Agency, on June 13, the country recorded 346 new cases, bringing the total to 236,651 cases. Meanwhile, the number of deaths has increased to 34,301 cases, an increase of 55 cases. Besides, 1,780 cases recovered during the day, bringing the total number of recovery cases to 174,865 cases. The number of active treatment cases continues to fall to 220, down 7. The total number of hospitalized cases in Italy is 3,747 and the current total number of cases is 27,485. 9. Australia news. After beef and barley, tourism is the next bear object in Australia-China tensions. In a statement released on the morning of June 6, Australian Trade and Tourism Minister Simon Birmingham said Canberra rejected China's statement about Australians engaging in racist and violent behavior. Force for Chinese and Asian descent. Minister Simon Birmingham said the Chinese statement was unfounded and called the claims false. 10. China news. The script of COVID-19 Wuhan may repeat in Beijing. 4 more cases of COVID-19 in Beijing, bringing the total number of new cases here to 7, especially those related to the Beijing market similar to the early stage of the outbreak in Wuhan. The Beijing Health Commission of China on June 13 added 4 cases of COVID-19 infection and had symptoms, bringing the total number of new cases there to 7. 2 new cases were announced on June 12 and the first case was announced June 11. This person went to Zinfati meat market last week and did not leave the city recently. On June 12, Liaoning province also announced 2 new cases, both related to the case in Beijing. People in Dalian City, Liaoning province, have been advised to avoid going to Beijing. Tang Xingduo, deputy director of the Beijing Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, said all new cases were related to Zinfati market in Fengtai district. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Knowledge of coronavirus, channel and travel for all fanpage respectfully and see you in the next video.